class, once again, this is your instructor for another video recording. In this video, I'm going to present to you Unit 3 of our notes. It is all about the Philippine National Police Human Rights-Based Policing. First, let us try to go back with the history of police force here in the Philippines. So kung maalala niyo, during the Spanish colonization, we have the so-called Guardia Civil. And then to be followed, nandyan na po yung Philippine Constabulary until such time naging Philippine National Police po yung police force natin. So, try nating balikan din kung ano ba yung mga pangyayari during that time. Okay, na from the Guardia Civil until such time naging PNP. So, nandyan po yung Guardia Civil and Philippine Constabulary. So, during that time, napakaraming issue po ang bawat membro ng Philippine Constabulary and then the Guardia Civil, okay, or member of the police force. Okay? So, bakit kaya? What is the reason behind bakit kaya ganun yung situation during that time? So, yun, during that time kasi, ang ating police force, they are not actually oriented with the so-called human rights. Okay? If you are going to observe the trainings, okay, trainings na meron sila noon, it is not in accordance with the human rights. So, simply police force during the very first or during the previous eras, they are not oriented with the so-called human rights. Kaya anong nangyari? So, yun, napakaraming issue ang ating police force, okay, member of the police force na mga pang-aabuso. Okay, so nandyan na sa mga suspects na nahuhuli nila during the time, yun, anong ginagawa? Nandyan na yung pagtutorture. Okay, so usually they are violating the rights of a person. Okay, nandyan. Instead na sumuko naman siya ng maayos, anong ginagawa? Okay, sinasaktan, binubugbog. So, that is a form of physical, okay, or that is a form of physical abuse, okay, or violation of the human rights of a certain person. So, yun, maaring masabi natin na isa sa mga rason yun kaya naging napakaraming issue ng violation of human rights ang ating mga kapulisan noon. So, hindi pa masyadong professionalized yung Philippine National Police or police force natin during that time. Okay, so sa ngayon meron na tayo yung Philippine National Police. So yun nga lang, hindi natin sinasabi na as in wala ng violations on human rights of civilians, okay, na nasasangkot ang ating kapulisan. So still, until now, napakarami pa rin nating nakikita na pang-aabuso, violations on human rights ng mga kapulisan natin. So yun nga lang, hindi natin alam, talagang baka those cases ay talagang hindi natin mapipigilan. Kasi hindi naman natin kontrolado bawat isipan ng isang tao. Okay? So, kung i-point out dyan ngayon, during the time of Philippine National Police, lumalabas na po dyan or na-orient, unti-unti nang napo-professionalize ang ating police force, yun, na-orient na sila doon sa tinatawag natin na human rights. Okay? Sa trainings na nila, ito na yung mga ino-orient sa kanila. Okay? Those human rights, okay, those enforcement or ini-inculcate sa bawat kapulisan natin, the enforcement of the laws and observing or compliance with the Bill of Rights. So, yun yung tinutukoy po natin na Bill of Rights, nandyan po sa or nakasaad po yan sa ating Philippine Constitution. And I don't know na nakuha na po ninyo, na pag-aralan po ninyo yan during your previous year levels, especially or particularly during or when you were in first year college. Okay, so yun, kaya ngayon lumalabas dito sa atin or meron na tayo yung tinatawag na Philippine National Human Rights-Based Policing. Kasi nga in implementing or in enforcing laws, yung mga police officers natin ngayon, they are well acquainted, okay, or they are observing, making sure that they observe those human rights of a certain person or yung mga Bill of Rights na nakasaad sa ating Philippine Constitution. And then, nandyan din yung universal human rights, particularly being observed by the different member states of the United Nations. Okay, so yan, hindi lang po sa Bill of Rights or hindi lang Bill of Rights yung pinagtutuunan ng pansin or binibigyan ng pansin ng ating mga kapulisan. So we have here also the RA 9745. So it is related or it is very much connected dun sa Bill of Rights. Kasi dyan, what is all about RA 9745? So it is all about the Anti-Torture Act of 2009. Okay, so yun kasi 'di ba nakasaad sa ating rights or Bill of Rights, nakasaad diyan or dun sa rights of a person under custodial investigation, nakasaad doon na yun yung rights of a person against torture. So hindi pwede or hindi pwede na ang isang tao ay torturein natin. So yan, that is being emphasized with regards to the PNP also, kasi if you are going to observe during the time na hindi pa implemented yung batas natin from 2008 going back, okay, napakaraming news sa ating TV na mapapanood wherein isang pulis ng abuso, okay, ng suspect, sa mga suspect na nahuhuli nila, anong ginagawa, especially yung mga matitigas na suspect, matitigas yung ulo or mga pasaway, okay, anong ginagawa, usually tinutorture yan, and yan nakakasama dun sa image, or yan yung isa sa nakasama sa image ng ating Philippine National Police during the past years. So nandan din, ewan ko kung nabalitaan ninyo yung mga issue, okay? The issue of a police officer wherein ang nung ginawa, tinalian niya yung isang are or tinalian niya yung are ng isang suspect, and then ano yung ginagawa? Habang ini-interrogate ay ang ginagawa niya, hinihila yung tali, okay, na nakatali dun sa are ng isang suspect. So bawat sagot, mali yung sagot, ayaw nung police officer yung sagot ng suspect, hinihila hanggang sa umaaray-aray na yung tao. So that is actually a form of torture. So yan ay in violation of Anti-Torture Act of 2009, as well as it is also a violation of the right of a certain person. Aside from RA 9745, we have here also RA 9851, also known as the Philippine Act on Crimes Against International Humanitarian Law, Genocide, and Other Crimes Against Humanity. So na-emphasize po dyan yung crime of genocide. So yan po ay may kukonsider natin as one of a crime against international humanitarian law. So yan pong genocide, if you remember the case that was mentioned during our previous discussion, a case of the Rwandan genocide somewhere in Africa, wherein anong ginawa, they were all mass killing of a certain individuals or a member of a certain race. So yun ang parang gagawin dyan, they are going to try to eradicate a certain race, okay, or a certain group of persons. So yan, popular din dyan si Adolf Hitler, and then yan yung isa pa na nagamit natin na example on the Rwandan cases of genocide, okay, somewhere in Africa. So those are only some of the special laws aside from Bill of Rights and Universal Human Rights that was being oriented or that is being emphasized on our Philippine National Police or the members of the Philippine National Police nowadays. Meron pa yung mga iba, madidiscuss natin later on. So here in our next slide, we have here a question: what is human rights-based policing? So simply, human rights-based policing is actually a comprehensive, systematic, and institutional adherence to national or domestic laws on human rights. So here in PNP or in our police force nowadays, they are observing or they have this so-called human rights-based policing, or they are applying this or observing this human rights-based policing. Okay? So kung makikita nyo, in implementing or in dealing with citizens, they are observing. Meron tayo dyan yung Miranda rights, unang-una na dyan. Every time they arrest a certain person who committed a crime or who is believed to have committed a crime, they are always observing the so-called Miranda rights, wherein always sinasabi nila yung rights or Miranda rights ng isang tao. Okay? So makikita nyo, they are always saying you have the right to remain silent Everything that you say can be used against you in the court of law, and so on. Okay, so not only the observance of Miranda rights, but also with regards to the torture. Okay, kung mapapansin nyo, hindi na rin gaano yung issue ngayon. Okay, or hindi na gaano yung balita na merong nato-torture na civilian na nahuli ng pulis. Yun nga lang, hindi natin alam. Baka hindi yun na news. Pero as of now, makikita naman natin yung progress. Okay, wherein na-inculcate sa ating police force yung all about human rights-based policing. Kasi unlike noon, talamak talaga araw-araw or most especially during the time of police constabulary, and then kasi more on militaristics kasi ang police force natin noon. Pero ngayon unti-unti nang nababago. So that is simply what is meant by human rights based policing. Just take note, this is the observance, okay? Observance, the obedience of the police force or of our police force in relation to domestic, okay? But not only domestic or yung mga laws na meron tayo dito that involves or that is pertaining to human rights, not only on Philippine Constitution but also international laws all about human rights. Kasi nandyan yung United Nations that is also implementing international human rights. So yun, inoobserbahan din natin or that is being respected, that is being observed by our police force. So that is simply human rights based policing. So simply just take note, observance and adherence to the international and domestic human right laws. Okay, so that is all about human rights based policing. And in addition, it was mentioned also that it is the most important, okay, component of security sector reform. Kaya nandito yung on the National Security Policy 2011-2016 that was implemented here in the Philippines or that was made. Okay, so ano ba yung goal niyan? So ito yung parang goal kasi ng ating government with regards to our security forces. So they are going to transform it. Okay, nasabi dyan, the government is committed to pursue the transformation of the security sector. Okay, so that is what is under National Security Policy 2011 to 2016. So ano ba yung main objective nila dyan? Strengthening civilian control and oversight of the security sector to include reforms in the defense and law enforcement agencies. Kaya nandyan, kung maalala nyo sa PNP, meron tayo yung RA 6975, and then dyan mas professionalize pa ng law na RA 8551. Kaya meron niyang mga yan kasi ito yung isang goal ng National Security Policy or ito yung goal or objective ng ating government. I-professionalize, i-reform yung law enforcement agencies natin. Not only PNP, kaya nandyan din mga BFP, mga batas na nag-professionalize nun. And then not only that, kasi in our security forces or in our security sector, internal security sector, not only the PNP and the AFP is the one that is in charge or the one that is involved. Nandyan din ang ating security professionals. Okay? So, private security professionals, company security guard forces natin, and then government security forces. Meron din yung batas nila on RA 5487. Okay, kaya anong goal naman nung RA 5487? That is to reform also or professionalize. Okay, professionalize our security personnels or the practice of security profession here in the Philippines. Okay, so I do believe that you still remember that on your subject, Introduction to Industrial Security Management. So that is all about RA 5487, and it is very much related to this objective or to the goal of our government. Okay, the transformation of security sector. Okay, so on number 2, the second one, professionalizing the security forces to include among the establishment programs designed to train soldiers, police, and other security sector, as I've mentioned a while ago. So, isa na din dyan, yung security professionals natin here in the Philippines. So, yun, if you're going to get in or papasok na kayo sa service, magti-training na kayo, you will observe the training programs and you try to ask kung ano ba yung mga training programs ng PNP noon, ng military natin noon. It is very much related, I mean very much or if not, it is very different, okay, or it's different already with the training programs that is being implemented in our training centers nowadays. Okay, so that is all about the national security policy and also the human rights based policing. Now, let us proceed on the characteristics of human rights based policing. So, number 1 po dyan, yung strict observance of police policies and operational procedures, especially those stated procedures under the Police Operational Manual of the PNP. Okay, so an example that we could give here is the one that we have already said a while ago with regards to the Miranda rights. Okay, if you observe, if they arrest a certain person, they always observe this, or they are always stating the Miranda rights of the person they are arresting. Kasi anong mangyayari kapag hindi nila inobserve yun? Okay? Hindi nila sinabi yung Miranda rights ng isang tao. So, the tendency, technicalities in, or technical dismissal. Okay? Or the dismissal of the case due to technicalities in court proceedings. Kasi yun, mapa-find out ng korte, hindi nyo pala sinabi yung Miranda rights or improper yung pag-aresto nyo doon sa tao, then tendency niyan madidismiss pa yung kaso dahil lang doon sa pagkakamali na nagawa or hindi lang ninyo nasabi yung Miranda rights ng isang tao. So, every time, our police officers, para maiwasan yun, they are always saying or stating the Miranda rights of the person they are arresting. So, isa yan na example. Aside from that, in your notes, you can find out or you can find there an example also with regards to the banning or the ban of the presentation of the suspects to the media. Okay, so yun ay para protektahan din yung dignidad ng suspect kasi hindi natin lahat masasabi na lahat ng naaresto natin, okay, caught in the act or mga taong napagkamalan or nasabi sa atin na may ginawang kasalanan na inaaresto natin, ay hindi natin masasabing sila yung guilty talaga. Okay? So, in order to avoid yung masira yung dignidad ng isang tao, hindi naman siya talaga yung gumawa ng krimen, then, we have here the right of a certain person arrested na hindi may present, okay? Na maiwasan na may presenta sa media. Okay? Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga nahuhuli din nowadays, some of them were censored yung mga mukha nila every time na nai-present sa media or hindi pinapayagan mismo ng mga police officers natin na sila ay kumuha ng mga scoop nila kapag sila ay or kapag inaaresto nila yung tao. So that is under the strict observance of police policies and operational procedures. Okay? So that is still part or one characteristic of the human rights-based policing of the PNP. Another one, we have here the adherence to national or domestic and international laws, treaties, standards, and protocols on human rights. Kasi nasabi ko rin kanina that here, we are not also, the PNP does not only observe or respect or adhere to the laws that is being implemented here in the Philippines, but also we are respecting or we are adhering with regards to the laws or international treaties that is being given by international organization na kabilang tayo. Okay, so an example na dyan, with regards to the domestic laws na meron po tayo, the RA 7438. So, ano po ba yung RA 7438? So, dyan po sa 7438, nakasulat po dyan or nakasaad po dyan yung rights of a person under custodial investigation. So, ano po ba yung rights ng isang tao na nakadetain? So, una na po dyan yung hindi po pwedeng maisekreto. Okay? Hindi pwedeng maisekreto or mai-detain ang isang tao sa secret place. Okay, so meron din karapatan ang isang tao na yung nakadetain na tao, meron siyang karapatan na dalawin ng kanyang lawyer, okay, ng kanyang counsel Or if not, pwede rin, meron din dyan yung rights niya to be visited or malaman ng kanyang pamilya kung saan siya nakakulong and others. So, ilan lamang po yun sa rights of a person under custodial investigation na nakasaad dyan sa 7438. Nasabi din natin kanina dyan, yung RA 9745. So, that is all about the Anti-Torture Act of 2009 naman. Okay, and then the other one, the RA 9851, that is all about yung nasabi rin natin last time, okay, a while ago, with regards to genocide and other crimes against humanity. So that is only some of the domestic laws that we have that is being observed by the PNP in relation to human rights based policing. And then nandito rin the 10 basic international human rights standards for law enforcement. Kaya merong sinet ang ating international organization or international laws, meron tayo or meron silang sinet na international standards, okay, on human rights based policing. So 10 yan po ay matatakal natin in our next chapter or unit. So, tignan natin yan mamaya. So, with regards to the arresting of a certain person, okay, kasi nasabi dyan yung RA 7438 and then 9745. Kasi in arresting a certain person also, kailangan talaga i-make sure din ng police officer na nag-a-arrest hindi nasasaktan yung isang tao or hindi siya na physically abuse. Okay? So, yan din ay ino-observan. That is also under district implementation or observance of human rights-based policing. So, meron tayo ngayon yung use of force continuum na naka-project sa ating PowerPoint. Okay, so the use of force continuum, nandyan yung level 1 up to level 5. So, kailan ba tayo gagamit ng deadly force? So, unahin muna natin sa level 1. So, dyan sa level 1, that is simply the officer's presence. Okay, so, yun, you are in, sabihin natin, merong disputes or merong incidents na nangyari, and then, for level 1, your presence. Kung yun, hindi pa rin nila nirespect yung presence mo, hindi pa rin nila pinansin yung presence mo na ikaw ay police officer, and then yun, hindi pa rin nila nire-respect, tuloy pa rin yung away nila, that's the time you can now have, or you can now proceed to level 2. So, ano yung level 2? It's a verbal commands. Magsalita ka na. Yun nga lang, hindi naman, make sure also na hindi masyadong threatening. So, paano kaya yan? Simply tactfulness, wherein appropriateness. So, parang parang sakto lang, wherein yung boses mo or yung pagkakasabi mo is parang you are demanding, okay, not in a way na forceful, but demanding in a way na klaro, okay, yung instruction mo, naririnig nila, and then merong pride, okay, merong authority, okay, merong authority yung pagkakasabi mo, okay, that you are saying na ikaw ay isang police officer and they should stop what they are doing. So yun, kapag hindi pa rin tumigil yung dalawa, nag-aaway pa rin sila, tuloy pa rin yung boxing nila or away nila, that's the time you can now proceed to level 3, soft techniques. So yan na yung dyan na ninyo i-apply yung pinag-aaralan ninyo sa defense tactics ninyo. So paano yan? Nandyan na yung wrist locks, okay, sa defense tactics ninyo or dun sa disarming techniques ninyo, dyan na ninyo i-apply sa level 3. So, soft techniques lang muna. Soft techniques, hindi yan masasaktan. Make sure na hindi nyo ma-injure yung tao or hindi nyo masasaktan yung ina-aresto ninyo. So, nandyan wrist locks. Aside from that, pwede siguro yung takedown, okay? Or not takedown, kasi actually dyan, yung takedown, kasi sabihin natin, hindi pa rin hindi nyo kaya, hindi nyo pa rin magawa in level 3. That's the time you can now proceed to level 4. Nandyan na yung strikes or takedowns. Meron ng offense, pero dun sa soft techniques, more on defensive type yan na methods. Pero dyan na sa may level 4, meron ng offense. Strikes na kayo and then takedowns. And then on level 5, hindi pa rin okay yung level 4. Sabihin natin meron pa rin silang sabihin natin meron silang armas na dala-dala, merong knife, kitchen knife, meron silang barrel, then that's the time you can now enforce level 5. So meron na dyan medyo deadly force, but make sure it is reasonable. Baka mamaya ikayo na naman yung madali dyan. Kayo yung makakasuhan pa ng administrative cases. So yan, use of firearms or strike to vital areas. So yan, that is the use of force continuum ng PNP na meron po tayo dyan. Naka-state din sa kanilang police operational procedure. So you should observe that. Take note of that. Huwag kayo agad pupunta sa level 5 kung yung suspect naman or yung inaaresto ninyo is nakikipag-cooperate naman. So, kung yun lang, kapag hindi nakikipag-cooperate, doon na kayo pwedeng mag-increase or mag-proceed sa higher level of force continuum. Okay, so that is all about number 2. And then number 3, we have here professional competence and courteous service. Kaya nandito, isa rin na batas na related dito in transforming our Philippine National Police is the RA 8551. Okay, the PNP Reorganization Act of 1998 or somewhere in 1998. Okay, so nandyan baccalaureate degree, syempre. Okay, hindi na kung dati ay high school graduate, ngayon ay dinagdagan na nila yung qualifications. So, baccalaureate degree, but not only baccalaureate degree. Nandyan din, tinitignan yung mga behaviors. Okay, behaviors, attitude, lahat-lahat na ng physical capability and halos lahat-lahat na ng aspeto, tinitignan din nila in recruitment. Hindi kagaya noon na kung kilala mo si Mayor kasi PNP is still under the supervision of the Mayor, okay, na kung kilala mo si Mayor ay pwede ka lang may recommend and then makakapag-pulis ka na. But nowadays, meron na tayong certain standards kung sino yung pwedeng maging isang pulis. So, nandyan, lumalabas na dyan yung physical agility test ninyo. So, iti-test dyan yung kakayahan ninyo, yung physical abilities ninyo sa pagtakbo, yung lakas ninyo, okay, sa pagpupush up, and then lahat-lahat na kung kaya ba ng katawan ninyo na makipagsabayan sa paghuhuli ng mga kriminal. Not only physical agility test, nandyan din, aside from the academic requirements, meron din dyan yung neuropsychiatric examination. Iti-test din kung stable ba or yung maturity ba ng inyong emotions and others is okay or pwedeng i-handle yung mga situation. Kasi sa PNP, kung akala nyo baby kayo sa PNP, no. So, di ba kapag ma-observe nyo, kayo na nga yung tumutulong sa isang tao, tapos anong ginagawa ng media? Okay? Tatimingan. Kunwari, pipicturan ka nung sabihin natin, meron kang nagawang masama. Sabihin natin, nakatulog ka sa mobile dahil sa sobrang pagod. Anong mangyayari sa'yo dyan? Nakita ka ng civilian, pinicturan ka, and then kinalat sa social media, isang pulis na tutulog sa loob ng mobile, walang ginagawa, but actually, pagod na pagod ka during that time kaya nakatulog ka. So yun, paano mo ngayon ma-handle yun? So kailangan din emotional maturity wherein you can handle those kind of situations na nangyayari ngayon nowadays. Kasi sa PNP talagang ano yan, meron yung mga tao na sisiraan ka talaga imbis na gumagawa ka ng mabuti, ginagawa mo yung lahat. Ang ginagawa pa sa'yo, dinadown ka. So, that is part also of the PNP requirement. Okay? Kaya nandyan yung neuro and then meron din yung medical kasi hindi pwedeng sakitin at kasi kapag paano ka makikipagsabayan sa mga kriminal, paano mo sila huhulihin kung tatakbo ka lang ng ilang segundo or sabihin natin may hika ka, na-atake ka, nang aaresto ka ng tao, bigla kang inatake. So, wala na. So, that is under professional competence and courteous service. So, nandyan yung attitude, behavior, ethics, and lahat-lahat na tinitignan in recruitment or PNP recruitment. Okay, so that is all about number 3. And then number 4, we have here the respect for rule of law and civilian supremacy. Kasi dito, all police officers must always remember Article 2, Section 1 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Nandyan po yung the Philippines is a democratic and republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people and all government authority and emanates from them. So, hindi po ang police force ang boss natin actually. So, who is the boss? Kasi we are a democratic country. So, parang ang boss po sa atin ay yung civilian, okay? Kasi masasabi natin, or as we remember, kasi ang police force are considered to be a public servant. Pero hindi ko sinasabi na slave natin ang ating mga kapulisan. No. So, in a way, na hindi sila boss, hindi sila yung boss natin, kasi they are public servant. Hindi ko rin sinasabi na tayo yung talagang boss. Okay? We are here the so-called respect police force, and also the police force will surely respect or observe your human rights or the human rights of each person. So ang nangyari kasi diyan, kung walang respeto yung isang panig, then syempre why would that certain person respect you if you don't respect him? So simply, respect for rule of law and civilian supremacy. So nandyan din kasi yung kaya hindi natin masasabi na absolute yung power ng PNP na siya yung mamumuno, okay, or military. So actually kaya ang namumuno sa atin is a civilian. So yung mga politicians natin, they are considered to be a civilian in character, pati yung police force natin. So with that, simple lang naman yan. You respect the police force, and also you will be respected in return. So vice versa. Okay? So yung sinasabi kasi natin na civilian supremacy, civilian control of the military is a doctrine in military and political science that places ultimate responsibility. So nandyan po yung nasabi ko kanina na hindi yung military yung namumuno sa atin, kasi still yan ay para maiwasan yung abusements sometimes, kasi noon alam naman natin na merong mga abuses na nangyari noon due to the military supremacy, but nowadays civilian supremacy is being respected and observed nowadays here in our country as a democratic country. So yan, kaya civilian yung mga leaders natin. Presidente natin is a civilian. Our senators is also a civilian. Okay, and others. So yun nga lang, respect between each group will leads to a better, or the observance also, or the key to human rights-based policing also. Okay, respect of each rights of each side. Okay, so that is all about respect for rule of law and civilian supremacy. And then we have here now the pro-democracy and pro-citizen. So human rights-based policing is democratic and citizen-centered. Kasi nasabi ko rin kanina, the police force is not the boss. Okay, we are more on citizen-centered. Okay, citizen-centered in a way na we are more concerned on the safety or the peace and order in order for our citizens, okay, or in order for the civilians to be living in a peaceful and secured state. Okay, so that is under number 5. Kaya kung mapapansin din ninyo, pro-democracy, kaya dyan sa PNP, kapag gumagawa sila, nagkakandak sila, or nag-ooperate sila, or gumagawa ng mga programs, nag-implement ng mga programs, ini-involve yung barangay, di ba? Barangay residents, not only barangay residents, nandyan din yung barangay officials. BPATs, okay? And BPATs, they are also also civilians. So, hindi sila personnel in uniform. Actually, not only doon sa mga barangay officials natin, but in schools also nakikipag-participate sila or nakikipag-coordinate sila in dealing with seminars para sa mga bata, especially on drugs, okay, cybercrimes and bullying and others. Nagkakandak sila ng seminars sa mga school. Kasi yun nga, democratic gain nila yung i-gain natin or i-integrate natin lahat-lahat ng mga members sa isang community in doing things or in dealing with different things. Okay, so that is under number 5. And then we have here the 3 levels of human rights obligation of the PNP. So number 1 po dyan, to respect human rights. So means refraining from interfering with the enjoyment of people's rights. So that is number 1. That is the number 1 under the 3 levels, respect human rights. And then number 2, to protect human rights, of course. So one way also of showing respect, okay, respect of that certain rights of a person is also to protect their rights. Okay? Wag natin hayaan na maabuso sa mga bata. Sabihin natin, police officers, or we also, not only police officers, we should also observe that those child, okay? Kasi sila yung pinaka-prone talaga na ma-violate, especially mga batang babae. Halos karamihan ngayon nare-rape. Okay, minor de edad nare-rape, mga balita. So, in order for us to protect some of the programs of the PNP is meron silang ginagawang mga procedures. Okay, meron na dyan yung women's desk. Okay, in order to cater yung mga abuses, pang-aabuso ng mga asawa nila. Okay, dun sa mga kababaihan or sa mga wives nila. So, nandyan yung women's and children desk to cater those, yung mga bata and then yung mga kababaihan and others. That is one way of our PNP to protect the human rights of a person. And then the third level, or number 3, to fulfill human rights. Okay, so refers to the act of establishing institutions and implementing systems and mechanisms or procedures that enable people to claim and enjoy their rights. Okay, so nandyan din yung in times na merong mga nakomit na crime, they are also helping that certain person to achieve or to arrest those persons who victimize that certain person na lumalapit sa PNP natin. Okay, they are investigating and then arresting those persons. They are trying to find those persons, arrest them, and then brought them to the court of justice until such time mabigyan ng hustisya din yung mga pamilya na biktima. Okay, and then that is all about the 3 levels of human rights obligations of the PNP. So now we have here the principles of human rights. Okay? So actually meron tayo dito yung tinatawag nila na Panther Principles. So ano ba yung Panther Principles na ito ng PNP? So you can find these Panther Principles. It is stated under Police Operational Manual also, or if not, the Human Rights-Based Policing Manual of the PNP. So, ito actually, Panther Principles. Itong Panther na ito is an acronym or mnemonics. Okay? Mnemonics wherein it is the first letters. Okay? Yung Panther, these are the combination of the first letters of each words na meron po tayo dito, or the characters na meron po tayo dito, or the obligations of the PNP na meron tayo. So, nandito sa number 1, participation, and then A stands for accountability, N stands for non-discrimination, T stands for transparency, I should say, and then we have your H for human dignity, E for empowerment, and R for rule of law, to complete or to create the so-called Panther Principles. So, originally daw, it was developed by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, but it came from as time passes by, it was adopted also by our Philippine National Police. So, nandito po yung tinatawag nila na participation. So, participation, syempre, about the active involvement of the people in the public planning and decision making. So, nandyan po ano yung unit ng PNP that is commonly focus in creating good image or good rapport with regards to civilian and then the police force. Meron po yung unit ng PNP, the Police Community Relations Unit. So, the PCR. Okay? Kaya nandyan ang goal nila, pagandahin, okay, yung samahan ng police force with the with the community na sinasakop nila or nasasakupan nila or yung mga residente. Kaya nandyan yung mga programs, nagkakandak sila ng during Brigada Eskwela, isa sa mga ginagawa nila, tumutulong sila dun sa mga parents, tumutulong sila dun sa mga school na naglilinis ng mga eskwelahan bago magpasukan. Aside from that, nagkakandak sila ng mga seminars sa mga bawat barangay. So, meron dyan, nagkakandak sila ng about sa drugs. Okay? So, not only drugs, nagkakandak din sila disaster or risk reduction management. So, isa rin yun sa mga ginagawa nila. And then, nandyan din seminars on terrorism. Especially dun sa mga area kung saan merong mga new member ng New People's Army or Communist Party na dun sila, dun yung isa sa pinagfo-focusan din nila more on discussions about terrorism. Paano ba ito? Ano ba ang dapat nilang tandaan, malaman about terrorism para hindi na sila ma-involve, okay, or magpunta or mag-join sa mga ganong organization. So, with that, sinasama nila yung bawat barangay. So, in solving problems, just like drug-related problems, in solving those, kasama ng PNP forces natin ang barangay. Okay? Kaya meron sa bawat barangay natin yung tinatawag nila na badak. So, yung badak, that is parang investigative unit or parang unit ng barangay natin yan na nagkakandak din nagdi-determine kung sino yung mga kilala nila na drug users or drug addicts dun sa barangay na yun. Or yung badak na yan, that is the Barangay Anti-Drug Council. Okay? So, goal nila, i-determine kung sino-sino yung mga kilala nila or alam nila na gumagamit ng mga illegal na droga doon. And then that's the time makikipag-coordinate sila, makikipag-cooperate sila, magbibigay sila ng intel doon sa ating kapulisan, and then magpaplano sila paano nila kaya i-confirm kung tong mga tao ba na nasa listahan sa whitelist nila ay mga ito talaga yung gumagamit ng droga or gumagamit nga ba. So that's the time lumalabas na yung participation ng community with the PNP. Okay? So, isa lang yan na example na may bibigay natin just to show the participation under the principle of PNP. Okay? So, participation, involvement of the community and PNP. Okay? So, that is number 1, and then, that is all about participation. The next one, A, which stands for accountability. So, it says here, the obligation of the police to remain fully accountable to the people. So, kung minsan, masasabi kasi natin na, sabi nga natin, ang goal ng PNP or yung main role ng PNP is crime prevention. Okay? To protect and serve yung isa sa motto nila. So, they are actually accountable kung ano yung nangyayari dun sa ating community. Okay? Kung tumataas yung crime rate, they are accountable with that actually. So, parang accountable sila in a way na baka meron silang pagkukulang. So, anong kailangan gawin? They should do more or double their effort, okay, to solve or to stop or to prevent the increase of crime rate, okay? Kasi sabi nga natin, they are actually the ones or the main role in dealing with crimes. Kaya ayun, kung nag-increase yung crime rate, then actually meron sigurong pagkukulang ang ating PNP. So they should take accountability with that. Kaya anong gagawin nila? They should do more, okay? Improve more. Baka mamaya kulang kasi yung ginagawa nila. Imbis na magpatrol sila, wala. Umuupo lang or nag-stay sa isang area, hindi nagpapatrol. So with that, kailangan na naman baguhin, i-orient na naman or i-communicate naman sa mga police force natin kung ano na naman yung dapat nilang gawin, kasi ganun yung nangyayari. Kasi they are accountable dun sa increase actually ng crime rate sa isang certain places. Okay? So kailangan they should do more. Okay? And then number 3 or the third one, which stands for, or the letter N, which stands for non-discrimination. So we have already tackled this, or it is very common also, or it is observable na kailangan natin na yung implementation. If you are going to be a police officer in the future, then you should implement, okay, or enforce the law equally. Okay? Wala kang pinipili or wala kang pinapanigan. So, without bias or prejudice. So, non-discrimination. And then, we have here transparency. So, transparency in a way, as much as practicable and without risk to national security for public safety, allows the public to gain access to the police plans, documents, rules, and regulations. Kaya sa PNP natin, sa police force natin, di ba? Nowadays, meron silang mga press conference din. Press conference, nandyan yung PNP spokesperson, wherein sinasabi niya yung mga plano or mga na sabihin natin meron silang nahuli. Okay? Lumalabas sila sa mga press conference para sabihin sa public, inform sa public yung mga nakuha nila, magkano ba yung nasamsam nilang mga droga, yan ay in transparency also, or with regards to transparency, kasi merong right yung mga tao, yung mga civilian, na malaman natin kung ano ba yung mga ginagawa na hakbang ng ating mga kapulisan. So that is under transparency. And not only that, kailangan din, yun nga lang, hindi natin sinasabi sa transparency na lahat ng actions ng PNP, lahat ng ginagawa ng PNP is pwede nilang i-publicize. Syempre hindi, kasi meron talaga yung mga bagay-bagay na kailangan nilang itago, kasi it can compromise, especially that is undercover operations. It can compromise. So hindi natin sinasabi sa transparency na lahat-lahat ng mga ginagawa nila is kailangan nilang i-publicize. No. They have the privilege kung ano yung pwede nilang i-mention sa public, kung ano yung pwede nilang ipakita or ipagsabi sa public. Okay, and then meron din silang privilege na itago yung sa tingin nila hindi makakabuti, or mas sabihin natin na it put our national security in or at risk. Okay, so that is under transparency. And then we have here human dignity. The PNP values the inherent and immutable dignity of every person at all times without exception. Kaya nandyan, hindi rin basta-basta na pine-present nila yung mga suspects sa mga media. Okay? So, nandyan din, kung babae yung kung babae yung nagre-report sa kanila, meron dyan yung women's desk na mag-a-accommodate sa mga babaeng complainant. Kapag naman yan ay bata, meron din dyan sa women's and children desk, mag-accommodate sa mga batang yon na complainant. And then, meron din dyan, meron mga specified, okay? Merong mga specified na unit to cater those needs of those victims or of those civilians. So, that is under human dignity. And then, we have here also empowerment, the acknowledgement and full respect for people's capacity to think and act freely for and on their own behalf for the purpose of identifying solutions to the problems. Kaya nandyan, yung nasabi natin kanina, they are encouraging participation of the community. So, yan, that is also, or this empowerment is one of the concern also of the Police Community Relations Unit of the PNP. So, that is for empowerment. Kaya nga, sabi natin, meron din, hindi natin masasabi na tayong police force lang ang may alam in crime prevention. Actually, ang mas may nakakaalam dyan is the community also. Mas maraming nalalaman ang community kaysa sa ating kapulisan actually sometimes. Kasi sino ba yung nasa community? Siyempre yung mga residente, yung barangay. Hindi naman natin masasabi na sa bawat barangay merong mga nakatokang pulis. No, kasi kaya meron tayo yung mga BPAT, wherein mas closer sila sa community, mas marami silang kilala doon. So, yun, it needs the participation, or it needs to create a good relationship between the community and the police force para pag merong crimes na naganap doon, then at least mas madali na lang yung communication or investigation. Meron ng mga nagpa-participate yung barangay natin, so they could give informations about those certain persons na involved doon sa krimen and others. So that is under empowerment. And then lastly, we have here now the so-called rule of law. So under rule of law, nandito the observance of the principles and values of justice, equity, fairness, and impartiality, and all police plans, decisions, procedures, and all other actions related to law enforcement and public safety. So, dito sa rule of law, hindi lang po ang civilian ang ating hindi lang civilian ang nag-a-abide or nire-require natin na mag-abide sa ating mga batas, but actually for us also to have the equality or fairness in laws, with regards to laws. Nandyan din sa mga police force natin, meron silang mga administrative procedures or administrative policies na kailangan nilang sundin. And then yun, kapag sila ay they act or they act in a way or abuse those powers na meron sila, then they can still be punished also. So, lahat-lahat, okay? Even if you are a police officer, even if you are a civilian, even if you are a public official, you can still be punished under our laws. So, nandyan, in implementation of the PNP also of the laws, enforcing the laws, nandyan din yung fairness, equity, and impartiality. So, they are trying to observe or kinakailangan din masasabi natin na police first also, they should need to be knowledgeable on laws. Okay, basic laws na meron tayo kasi paano mo mai-implement yung fairness, okay, impartiality kung hindi mo alam yung batas. Okay, wala kang alam sa batas. Then it is one also kaya na-mention yung professionalism kanina. Okay, with regards din yan sa impartiality and fairness. So we should know also some of the laws that is being implemented. But as a whole, rule of law speaks of the observance of the principles and values of justice equally. So that is all about the Panther principles of the Philippine National Police.